Sizing up Murphy, drives, floats, hangs, and scores on the turnaround. J-Dub way behind the three-point line and hits way behind the three-point line. Got blocked. What a rejection by Holmgren. Standing tall like a wall.
This is Lillard. You're listening to the Uncontested.
What is up, and welcome to the Uncontested Podcast. Coming to you live December 15th. That's a Sunday. I typically say Sunday the 15th, and I forgot, and I got my words backwards. We are brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network and the homies over at Prairie Artisan Ales. We'll talk a little bit about Prairie here in a bit, but 10 of 10, good people. 12 of 10, the people over at Prairie. Very good people. I'm your host for the evening, Jacob Niffen. I've got Justin Peabody with me tonight.
Hello, everybody.
We have Nick Crane downing a glass of wine.
Howdy.
And we've got Taylor Peterson being Taylor Peterson.
You sound like Trump there, Jacob. Very great people. The greatest of people.
Thank you.
That was
to do with that.
That was the nicest response I ever would have guessed Jacob would have being called.
Me too.
Donald
I really teed
Trump.
him up there.
I appreciate the kindness of Taylor. Happy guy Taylor.
Taylor's a big
What
puppy
kind of
dog.
person.
Taylor
That's
is a
right.
big. What kind of dog is Taylor?
Golden Retriever.
Oh, it's a great one.
Kind of dumb, but you
Oiled.
love him.
That's not where I was going. Golden Retrievers are very smart.
Oh,
Taylor's
My brother-
whatever dog, whenever it greets you, jumps up and starts humping your leg. That's Taylor. Am I wrong?
I knew this is going off the rails based off our pre-pod conversation.
And what makes it even better is the number of live viewers right now is 69.
Yeah.
gosh.
You can't make these things up, folks.
Bum, 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 bum. They
What
not
was
like
that?
us. They not like us.
Oh my gosh.
I can't say the
That was not good.
That was
yeah.
not
I
awful.
thought you were singing like a circus song.
I can't sing.
That was the worst imitation of a song I've ever heard.
Bum, 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 bum.
I thought you were trying
Don't
to
you
do the
know
red
it?
sounder.
That's where I thought it was going.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow. In sync.
Nick does the fast riz. I don't know how I feel about that.
Don't mess around.
Don't mess around.
Hey, if you haven't already, you should join the Patreon because we do dumb stuff like this all the time. George Goodwin in the chat. Cream cheese in the chat from George.
Wiener dog in the chat from George.
George says Taylor's a wiener dog. Oh my!
Oh,
That was
we've switched from wine to
Yeses.
prairie beer.
What you drinking? Tiny S's?
Tiny S's.
Tiny S's. Love it.
Don't talk about Taylor like that.
It's very
About
good.
my S's.
You should join the Patreon. We have a great time over there.
Yes.
Speaking of the Patreon, like last night during the Cup game, Discord was wild.
Wild. It was a blast.
Wild. We are also planning on having our next Discord watch party very soon. We forgot to talk about this pre-pod, so you guys are getting the Uncontested meeting live on the show. Our plan was to do our next Patreon watch party Friday against the Miami Heat, but there's a pretty big game in 2 days against the Milwaukee Bucks. Should we do the Patreon watch party on Tuesday?
Maybe.
I don't like that answer.
Why don't you guys?
There's
Why don't we let people comment in the chat?
Oh,
We've opened up the door to the conversation.
We should probably have the
Yes.
people in the Discord make that decision since they're the
agree.
ones actually like paying for it.
and if you're not paying for it,
We don't
now's
care.
time to pay for it. Well, that's not. What
Yeah.
I was
Not
gonna say.
true. Not true. Up in the corner of the screen right here is a QR code.
Oh my
you can
gosh!
scan.
There
We would
you go,
love you to
Taylor.
Join.
My marketing strategy is like Shea Serrano. I just tell people to go to hell and then they buy the book.
Pay for it or don't. See if I care.
You should join the Patreon and come watch either Tuesday or Friday with us. You decide. This is a choose your own adventure. It's kind of like that
Why not
Goosebumps
both?
book where you got to a certain
Yeah.
page. It was like, if you want to go left.
I
you have
love
to
choose
page
your own
35.
adventure books.
They're great.
Agreed.
Sometimes
Good
I would read
time.
them twice. Choose both adventures. Get your money's worth.
Friday is the second night of a back-to-back.
That's true.
I think it would be interesting to do it for the cup game because if the Thunder end up winning the game, there's a lot of post-game festivities and MVP awards handed out, and it'd be kind of cool to chat as all that happens.
Do you think they will shoot each other with 3-point guns in the post game
Yes.
again?
Tra-ta-ta.
Hopefully during the game.
Hey, we play the Grizzlies
I-
December 29th, so we'll save it for then.
Yeah, that joke did not land on Twitter, by the way, Taylor.
That was a
People are
good
very confused.
good attempt, poor execution.
Yeah.
Poor execution on my part.
Also, to follow up on that, Taylor on the post-game show and on Twitter claims Shea said the F-bomb.
He did not.
He did not. Just to clarify,
Fake news, Taylor.
fake news Taylor. I wasn't sure. Like when we recorded last night, I was like, well, maybe I missed that. I just heard him say "shut up," and then I went back and watched it again. And I was like, I don't hear it. I
Just told
didn't
them to
hear
shut
it.
up, and then everybody got offended. The pictures,
They're
all
so
the guys.
good. The reactions
Yeah.
were so good.
I also we are so off track, and we're only 7 minutes in.
This is relevant.
I think next game, Dort's first 3, he should like unload a sniper rifle off his back and then aim that and
Yes.
shoot. Like if you're gonna get fined, my boy. Ridiculous. All right. Join the Patreon. It's a fun time. The Discord is incredible. We do live watch parties. We do bonus pods. They're all great. You should definitely join the Discord. You should also. Oh, I thought Thunder Chick in the chat was talking to me. I was like, that's rude.
Just shut up.
Just shut up. Jacob.
It's like, dang, Thunder
Talk
Chick.
What did we
basketball.
do?
Follow us on all social media: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Blue Sky, all the places. We typically have pretty good content. Also, we haven't been plugging this recently, and none of us have the shirt on, which I'm kind of upset about. But new merch drop in our merch store. So go to cottonbureau.com, search The Uncontested. You can find our entire merch line. I guess that's what you call a merch line.
Yeah.
And the newest one, the Certified Ball Knower, is an incredible design by Justin. We also now have comfort colors available,
Yeah, we do.
which are probably the best t-shirts ever made on planet Earth.
Comfort colors are nice, and sweatshirts as well.
Mhm.
Got everything. And Cotton Bureau is running a last minute holiday shopping procrastination special. If you spend $49, you get free shipping. If you enter code LASTCHANCE24 at checkout. So go take advantage of
Do
that
it.
too.
Do it. Let's run up the score on Cotton Bureau. That would mean a lot to us. We
Great last
appreciate you
minute
guys.
Christmas gift idea.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for all the Thunder fans in your life. And if they're Rockets fans, buy them 2 Thunder shirts.
Yes.
All right. Have we covered everything to start the pod?
We've more than enough.
Yep.
Is someone going to get in the chat and tell us to shut
Yes.
up and talk basketball?
100%.
Yes, I hope.
Should we talk 10 minutes about Justin's shutout in Little League basketball?
Nope.
No, we should not. But
Did you play in the game?
game? No, I did not. I stayed
Okay.
on the sideline.
Your team's got that dog in them, Justin.
Got that dog in them.
I hope you're making them bark.
My wife asked me why I didn't tell them to like chill out on defense in like the fourth quarter, and I said that thought never crossed my mind. However,
Yeah.
okay,
the
one
foot on the
one
throat.
comment about this game just because it came out last week. I 100% used 0-0 mentality with them
Yes.
at the end of the game. I was like, hey, I know we're feeling pretty good right now, but we got to pretend it's 0-0 mentality. We got to act like like we haven't won anything yet. And they were all like, yeah,
Love it.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
bought
coach. Yeah, that's all the way buy-in. Yep.
Love it. All right, let's talk some basketball. Taylor and Justin were on the impromptu post game last night. Thank you
Indeed.
guys for doing that. Good show. I hope Silva is recovering nicely. Shout out JD.
We bullied him into being there.
Nick and I were not on the post game pod last night. So Taylor and Justin, jump in the back seat. We're going to hand you the iPad so you can be entertained. And Nick and I are going to talk about the game for a second.
Don't give Taylor an iPad. Bad things will happen.
No, I don't want to know what's going
Man.
on that search history.
I was just about to say it's so relatable for Justin and I with kids.
Yeah. Taylor's just a grown-up iPad kid.
Nick, Thunder beat the Rockets 111-96 in a game that felt like I was watching. I don't watch any of the fighting sports like boxing or UFC, but it felt like a heavyweight boxing match where they walk around and not a lot of stuff happens. And then someone just started beating the shit out of the other guy. And that was the Thunder to the Rockets in the second half. But some early thoughts, Nick, on just like big picture, what you saw from that game. And we've now seen 3 games between these two teams. So not only this game, but what are you seeing overall in this Thunder Rockets rivalry?
Yeah, Sean, if you're listening, and I know you are because you're already popping off in the chat. Close your ears. The Rockets are a hell of a lot better than I thought they'd be this season. And while we will still crack all the jokes on this show about the Rockets now and moving forward, it's a team that you can't really mess around with. Like, their defense is the closest thing to Oklahoma City's in this league. The first time they played with Chet, it was a blowout. Like, I think Chet on this team is a nightmare matchup for the Rockets, given they have 2 centers that can't move their feet all that well. Both pretty traditional centers. But this is a rivalry that I think now and in the future will come down to which team can score on the other dominant defense. And the second matchup in which the Rockets won, Van Vliet went off and got them the win. Saturday night's matchup, it was Shea and a little bit of Dub that got going in the second half, and the Rockets couldn't match it. And it just seems like it's going to be a series for a long, long time where it's like which team's star can break the defense and get some points. And right now, the Rockets don't have that. Like, Jalen Green was supposed to be the guy. I think they've got all the pieces to make a trade in the future for that guy. And they're an offense and a star, which is easier said than done. I'll say that. Sean was roasting me for acting like that's easy to do. It's hard to get a star. It really is. But they have the package to do so when a star comes available. And this Houston team is a trade away from being in the top 6 of the West tier indefinitely. Like, they're not a fluke. So I got to give them.
Can I
give them
interject
credit
for a second?
Yeah.
A couple things. I think you hit the nail on the head with how these two teams match up with each other. When fully healthy, the Thunder have 3 players that can be the best player in the series. And the one win, I know I'm looking at this with Thunder tinted glasses. Like, I totally get that. But the one win Houston has did take a 39-point effort from Fred VanVleet, which is uncharacteristic. 40 free throw attempts and still only won by 2, 3.
Look, I'm not sitting here saying that Rockets are as good as the Thunder. What I'm saying is that's an impressive win. Like,
yes,
I think
it's much closer than what we thought it was going to be
sure.
at the beginning of the season.
Preseason, if you had said, man, the Thunder got a gritty win over the Rockets, you'd be like, well, duh, the Rockets are a play-in team. But like, they're beating
top 4 right now.
In big picture. If you look at their road in the post, like the knockout rounds, post group stage, beating the Mavs and then the Rockets at this point in the season that both these teams are playing is damn impressive.
Yes, it is.
So the reason I'm giving the Rockets their flowers is A, they're better than we thought, but B, that was not just like a gimme win,
throwaway game.
That
sure.
was a good win.
Yes. The other thing is, you mentioned they have the pieces to make the trade to go get a guy, and I do not disagree with you. But and I'm going to be honest, I willingly choose to not watch Rockets basketball whenever they're not playing the Thunder. Not a big fan of watching Rockets basketball. Big fan of joining Rockets Twitter Spaces after they play basketball. I really enjoyed the guy crying after they won the Warriors, saying, "Let's go shock the world."
That was like the real life
shit
Rockets
means
Twitter
something to me,
space.
man.
Exactly. It was that sounder come to life.
Yep.
This cup means something to me, man.
That's gonna be our
Sounder.
meme tomorrow.
Sounder.
Just
Where
the
was
great
that?
meme.
15:08.
JD, 15 minutes. Get it. But Nick, I don't disagree with you.
But
The Rockets play
You're about to
7
disagree with
guys
me.
in their
But-
rotation. So they can make the trade, but it's not like they're just like overwhelming with depth. They played 9 guys last night, but Aaron Holiday and Steven Adams both played 6 minutes. The rest of the team, Tariq Eason played 17. Everyone else played 30 plus. They have the pieces to make a trade. I don't know if they have the depth to make a trade and still flesh out a team with 8 or 9 guys that can play in the postseason.
Also, whoever they
draft
trade
picks
for
are for.
is whoever they trade for is not going to be as good as Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Let's be completely honest.
This isn't a competition between the Rockets and the Thunder's long-term future. We're talking about this game. No one, I don't think anybody, even the biggest Houston Rockets fan, thinks that the Rockets are in the same tier as OKC or have a player the caliber of SGA. Or even if they trade for Devin Booker, who probably would be a great fit and probably their best option, is still not SGA. I don't think any Rockets fan would even try to argue that.
They would, but
they would, Nick.
Deep down,
You know, Rockets. You frequent the Twitter Spaces, Nick.
I do.
Nick likes to pour himself a glass of wine, sit on the couch, pop in the AirPods.
I do.
Just listen to Rockets Twitter Spaces.
I do that on a regular basis.
You're a sick man.
It's freaking hilarious, dude. Like I turned it on last night without headphones on, and my wife was like getting ready for bed, and just crazy things were being said, and I had to like explain. I was like, this is a feature on Twitter where you can just like jump in and listen to people, and they just like go crazy. And she's like, okay, that's cool. See ya.
That happened to me the other day, listening to the clip of the guy crying in the space. My wife looked over and she was like, "Is that a grown man crying about a basketball game?" And I was like,
On
yes,
the
it
internet?
is. Yes, it
Live
is.
on the internet. All right, Nick, let's get to the actual game though.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
I still wonder, like, again, Chet is the big caveat, changes everything, like everything about this team. In the absence of Chet over the next, what is it, December 15th, we're looking at another month and a half, probably, conservatively. In these dogfight games, if SGA is going to start 1 of 9, like he turns it around and was dominant second half. But if that were to continue, can Dub be the guy some nights against bad teams? Yes. Against good teams, if Shai's not on and Dub is just being okay, like it feels like this team needs another punch. So that's one takeaway I have. Second thing is Isaiah Hartenstein is like, not only is he a starting caliber big, like I'd almost argue he's top 15 or 20 center in the league right now. So the Thunder
I would easily argue that.
I mean, like you could easily argue top 15, 20. Would you win the argument? I don't know. But he's certainly like well beyond average starting center caliber. And a night like last night against Şengün, who is, as much as we like to troll the guy, is a really good center, played better than him. Like straight up. And
I mean, at one point Şengün was 1 of 9.
Yeah. I mean, it's the biggest takeaway from that game is like that guy, Isaiah Hartenstein, is unbelievable. He's not just a Chet fill-in for a few months. Like he is going to be a top 5 or 6 most important player on this team, not just this year or the remainder of his contract. Like he may be here a long time.
Yeah,
I think it'd be great if he was. And I think that we talked about that on last night's show too, Nick. You just feel his presence in this matchup. He changes the dynamic so much, especially against a team like the Rockets. Kind of neutralizes any advantage the Rockets had in that matchup because he doesn't make anything easy in the paint. And rebounding and shot blocking, rim protection, like the denied dunk that he had on Jabari Smith Jr. Yeah. There's nobody else on this roster right now that's making that play.
So, like, this is going to be a very recency bias question, but I want you to try to answer it with no bias of the recency.
That's why they call it recency bias.
Thanks for explaining.
If you remove Chet from the equation, because I think it's pretty clear Chet's the best center this franchise has ever had.
Yeah.
Where does Isaiah Hartenstein on that list?
Number 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
if you remove Chet, then he's number 1.
Yeah, like Steven Adams was awesome, but like
I've said it so many times. Isaiah Hartenstein is
the passing, it's unreal.
He's Steven and Collison in one.
Yeah,
right.
He's the Steve-O body with the Collison game.
Yeah,
one thing I mentioned last night, Nick, is honestly Hartenstein, especially offensively, got off to a pretty slow start. Got into not necessarily foul trouble, but flirted with it early on in the game. It's a little undisciplined. And the other thing is I don't think the Thunder guards, the Thunder forwards, whatever you want to call them, other Thunder players didn't really look for him very much early on in the game. That changed completely in the second half. And a lot of that is credit to J-Dub and Shea. And I'm curious, Jacob and Nick's thoughts on their games last night because they were able to finally get to the rim. And that led to a lot more opportunity to find iHeart and create more offense and all the great things we saw in the second half from the Thunder. But one thing I didn't mention last night is iHeart finished with a career-high 21 points. And that's after a pretty slow start to get going. I just
he was awesome. And I mean, a lot of them were set on a platter for him. Mm-hmm. He did dunk, and I'm just gonna say it. He finished an alley-oop and put his I'm gonna try to keep it PG.
Eggs in the basket.
Put his eggs in Tari Eason's basket.
So man, here's the part that's most exciting about Hartenstein. I know we're getting a little bit off track from the actual game itself, but like a bigger picture thought. He's really damn good now, right?
Yeah.
I don't think what's ever talked about, like maybe locally, like with people that follow and watch this team, but I don't think like nationally it's talked about enough. His age. Like people all the time talk about DeAndre Ayton, like maybe he still has some juice, like he's this young guy, or Trae Young's this young guy, or Jared Allen, or Daniel Gafford, or Michael Porter Jr. He's the same age as all these guys. Like he's not
same as Shea.
He's not this old guy that's just like, you know what you got. Like
he's not the salty vet.
He still has a lot of room to improve, and he's gotten so much better over the last couple of years that
the trajectory is great.
It's insane.
He's really good. I am to the point, and I wanted to bring. We're kind of steering away from the game itself, and there's so many good things to talk about the game, and I want to get to a few of those. But I feel like two things for me are true now. Thing number one, when Chet's healthy, I'm convinced the starting lineup is Shea, Dort, Dub, Chet, iHeart. Nick Jordan, you're not wrong. I think that's the starting. I think Chet and iHeart are going to start. I think the worry for us with that starting lineup was the shooting. iHeart does everything else so well offensively. I think he starts. The other thing is I think we've got an established starting five now until Chet gets back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with Case and Wallace, who is just a badass.
He is.
And I need to tell you something. It took everything within me last night in the setting in which I watched the game to not like stand up on top of the table and like take my shirt off and flex whenever Kaysen tried to fight the small child Alperen Şengün. Whenever he bowed up, I was like, "Oh, buddy,
yeah, Kaysen fighting, I'm fighting."
I was about to go buy a plane ticket.
Jeez,
I was going to fly to Vegas.
My only pushback on
or
your
to Turkey
starting lineup idea, and this is not mutually exclusive. Like both of these things can happen. Isaiah Hartenstein can start for sure, no doubt. You can stagger minutes still. You can do a lot of things. But I am pretty pro. You got to have one of them two on the floor. I think you can play small ball situationally, but we have I wouldn't call it a large sample size. We have enough of a sample size now that would suggest when Chet is on the court, he's unbelievable. When Chet's not on the court, the team really drops off. Same with Isaiah Hartenstein now. When he's on the court, the team's unbelievable. When he's not, they drop off a little bit. What happens when you have them on the floor 48 minutes a game?
Yep.
with a few staggered minutes in there as well. Like all of a sudden, like you don't have the drop off.
Exactly.
That's
I think that's where it gets super fun.
Everyone talks about the defense right now and how historical it is. Historic it is. That's coming from a history major. What happens when they get the perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate back?
Perennial, huh?
He's going to be a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
And he's not having to be the defense maker around the rim. He's allowed to roam. I think that's going to be fascinating to watch.
It's fun to think about because as fun as this team has been up to this point, we haven't seen its best form yet. Presumably,
seen my final form.
Yeah, exactly. And like that, it's kind of absurd to think about. I love what you said, Nick, of like, there should be no moments where one of them is not on the floor. And that's so tough for opposing teams. Like it's going to they're going to be in absolute hell more than they already are.
And if you happen to get one of them in foul trouble or one of them's missing a game, then like all of a sudden, oh, damn, Kenrich Williams is like really damn good again.
Yeah,
he's still healthy.
Like we talk about Isaiah Hartenstein coming back, and they're like what 9-1 or 10-1 since his debut. He deserves all the credit in the world, no doubt. But Kenrich Williams, can't forget that guy. He has been unbelievable this season since he's come back.
Dude, he was the one who stabilized the offense in the first quarter last night.
Yeah,
led all scores at halftime with 7 for the Thunder. I mean, that was huge and allowed the Thunder to only be down 1.5.
He was awesome. I also just like thinking of a lineup that's like J-Dub, Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, and the two bigs. How do you ever score on that?
Yeah. It'll be fun when like all the talk we've had about the guard depth and rotation and how it's like, oh, Lou Dort checks out. Here comes Cason Wallace, or fill in the blank, right? Alex Caruso, J-Dub. Like there's so many guys. You can start to have a similar conversation with the big men on this team when they're fully healthy. And that is just bananas to think about.
They're such a good team. A couple of plays I want to talk about that I think Taylor was kind of alluding to, and the idea that in the second half, the Thunder were really able to get into the paint, and that started to generate offense. 2 really stuck out to me. One of them was the Shea crossover that sent Dylan Brooks back to Canada.
Yes, dude.
Drive in.
So good.
And just the Shea was on a tear. And instead of driving in and forcing that shot, he got the defense to collapse, and then the spray out to J-Dub, who didn't splash it. He doinked it in.
He willed it in.
Yes.
Shooter's roll.
But then the other one, which is my favorite play of the game, I believe it was a Shea drive again that led to a spray out to Alex Caruso on the right wing, who caught, showed it, got the defense to commit, dribbled in, forced another defender to step up, hit the bounce pass to Isaiah Hartenstein for the dunk. Didn't result in a Shea assist, but that type of ball movement and fluidity offensively led to a wide open dunk. That is offense that is repeatable. You can't guarantee that the 3 shot is going to go in all the time, even if it's open. We saw that in the first half.
Yeah.
You can almost guarantee that the wide open Isaiah Hartenstein dunk is going through the cylinder.
Yep.
And that's what
pretty good bet.
We talked about this last night also, but Mark during halftime was mic'd up. And he talked about when you're playing such a physical team, you can't just rely on your jumper going in. You got to get into the paint. You have to be able to penetrate.
Match the physicality.
And that's exactly what happened in the second half. Shea and Dub were able to penetrate. They were able to break down the defense, and that led to some of those plays that you're talking about.
For sure. Whenever they showed Mark talking at half in the locker room, all I could think of was, "You're a mother effer. You're a mother effer. You're a mother effer."
So good.
That guy rules. Any other thoughts from that game last night? It was awesome.
That I didn't say last night. I think it was a dogfight, a really fun game. I think that the Cup has been really fun. I'm looking forward to Tuesday against the Bucks for the Cup.
3 games and 4 nights upcoming.
Yeah.
Bucks.
And more on the way after that. We'll get into that.
Yep. They're going to play 83. And it's also stupid that the 83rd game doesn't count towards standings or statistics for the season.
Yeah.
It's like the play-in.
Mm-hmm.
It's dumb. Make the games matter.
That just means Shea's going to drop like 60.
Yeah, he's going to get a career high.
Actually count.
Yeah.
Definitely going to get a career high. Well, let's talk about that matchup. The Milwaukee Bucks. They've turned it around a little bit.
Don't shake your head, Nick. You're not above us.
We don't have Silva Sounders.
I'm certainly not above you guys, but it's become so expected now that I don't even know if it's a sounder or if it's real.
It always exists. It always was and always will be.
The Bucks.
Do you want me to do it again?
That's your cue.
I was waiting for you. Have really turned it around. Really after Doc Rivers saw his throat guy. I didn't say it. Doc said it.
He did say it.
I'm not making jokes. That's a quote. Saw his throat guy. I don't know what the throat guy did. The Bucks have been playing better. Giannis is on an NBA level stretch right now. What do we expect from this game come Tuesday night? Take your time.
One thing is who's guarding Giannis? Like, do you put Lou Dort on him? Is it going to be J-Dub with a little more size? I'm fascinated to see how that.
Let's poll. Who is the lead Giannis guarder on Tuesday night? The Giannis guarder.
That sounds like the name of the war that you were talking about in your anime show.
The main character from War of the Rohirrim, Giannis Garter. Who guards Giannis Tuesday night? Whose assignment is it? Or do they go zone?
Zone.
Let's not talk zone. If it's man on man, who is it?
I think it's Dub because you went Dort on Dame, but you also have Kaysen, I guess.
I mean, the cop-out answer is it'll be by committee.
No, I said choose a guy.
I know. That's why I said it was the cop-out answer.
We don't like cops on this show.
I'm gonna go Dort.
That's a joke. We support the police officers.
I'm gonna go Dort.
Never listen to NWA in my life.
I think Dort's. I do think the size could be a challenge. And Dort is just, I mean, he's such a nightmare. I think Dub's versatility makes him really intriguing as well. What a luxury to have two guys that you probably feel good about in that matchup. But I think it'll be Dort with the primary responsibility.
I go Dort as well, and then AC off the bench.
Yeah.
I think Dub gets the Chris Middleton matchup.
I think it'll be Dort, and I think if we've learned anything from Mark's defensive principles, it is cheat and dig at bigger guys and make others beat you on the perimeter. I think he's okay with that happening. I think we will see a lot of Brook Lopez threes because I think that Hartenstein will intentionally be cheating down a bit.
Yeah.
I think that we'll see a lot of perimeter guys get like open looks as long as the team is making crisp closeouts and rotating the right way. Like that's the luxury this team has. You can dig and you can double down and you can hedge and make weird switches because the other four guys in the court are going to do awesome things rotationally. But I do think Dort is like the point of attack guy on Giannis when he catches on the perimeter and tries driving, but he's going to see a lot of hands and a lot of bodies on the way to the rim.
I like it. Yeah.
I think Brook Lopez might take 10 threes.
Yep.
That's fine. That's a big number.
It is.
That's fine.
He might make 4 of them, like truly.
That would also be a big number.
So besides the Giannis Garter, what else do we think about this game? Like, I think Dort will check Giannis. I think Kaysen will check Damian Lillard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of the Bucks' depth, and I wonder what the Thunder look like bringing their guys off the bench. The Bucks did play 9 guys last night, but they started Andre Jackson Jr., which is He's a good defender. He probably gets the
awesome
Shea matchup on the other end.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm going to be real honest with you. Andre Jackson Jr. guarding Shea is not like a worrisome thing for me. He's good.
Yeah.
But it's not a worrisome thing for me. I think Kenrich Williams, Bobby Portis might end up in a fist fight.
That'd be great. Love it.
Yes.
I think I agree with you that I don't love the Bucks roster, but Taurean Prince is I think above 50% 3-point shooter. AJ Green is, I think, right around 50%. They've got some guys. Like, if Oklahoma City loses this game, I can tell you what Twitter's going to say. These random guys decide to go off against OKC, and it's like, go look at their stats, buddy. They shoot 50% from three. They're not just random guys. Like, the Bucks have...
he's been playing well,
They
too.
have pieces that can torch you. They may not be the big names that you see on Legion Hoops and NBA Central tweeting out their stats every night, but like the Bucks have some guys that will torch you.
Yeah, Bucks are a very solid team.
With that being said, though, like the Thunder are so good defensively, I feel pretty good about it.
I'm not saying that the Bucks are the better team or have the advantage, but it's not as grim of a roster as Twitter would lead on for the Bucks.
Sure.
That's fair.
They haven't been super healthy, especially getting Middleton back. That's been big for them. The Bucks rank 10th in 3-point shooting in the league. Thunder are right behind them at 13th. And so I think the big thing there, like we talked about, when you are, like we've seen this Thunder team do this, we saw them do it against the Mavericks. When you're collapsing on players like that, or you're bringing two defenders at players, you're going to have to rely on that versatility and that speed that the Thunder have to be able to get out and cover those shooters. Otherwise, they're going to make you pay. If you can do that, that's going to lead to missed 3-point shots, which allows the Thunder, assuming Ihart's still rebounding at a high level, and other players like Cason Wallace and Lou Dort have been rebounding well. You grab those boards.
Cason Wallace has been rebounding at like an insane rate.
Yeah.
Insane. You're pushing the ball in transition. That's what the Thunder are best at. You're not having to worry about trying to attack the paint in half-court offense.
I know this is going to sound like so, like, of course, Jacob. Yeah, that's the plan. Limit Giannis, you win the game. I think it's literally that simple.
That's what I was gonna say, Jacob. I think looking at their game against the Hawks, it's Giannis with 32, Dame with 25,
and that's really it. And here's the thing:
that's a lot of points.
Giannis had 32 and took 18 free throws, had 14 rebounds and 9 assists and 4 blocks,
and was 10 of 15 from the floor to give him his credit
for sure. But 15 field goals, 18 free throw attempts. Like, if you can keep him off the line. And if you just have to rebound.
You
just have to rebound. And if it's Giannis driving into the lane and then spraying out to Andre Jackson Jr. or Brook Lopez or whatever, and you get late contests, I think that's good defense.
Yep. I agree. And I think that the Thunder are built for that type of matchup, right? Because they can go muck it up with the scoring, the guys that have the scoring burden for the Bucks, and force the other guys to beat you. To Nick's point, the Bucks have some other guys that can beat you. They did not shoot great in the Hawks game, but they absolutely can. So it's going to require everybody to stay disciplined, or else it'll look kind of like the Mavericks series from last year, right? Where you can bottleneck Kyrie and Luka and make the other guys step up. Like, it's very different players, very different teams, but a similar kind of like format in terms of like there's two stars leading the charge for this Bucks team, and the defensive attention is all going to be there. And like Nick said, you're going to force Brook Lopez to be the guy that beats you. And like, again, if that can win a game, and that could win you the NBA Cup, but I think you feel pretty good about that strategically. Of like, what do you want to bet on? Do you want to bet on Dame beating you, or do you want to bet on Brook Lopez beating you? And I think that from a philosophy standpoint, that's the way to approach it. And I think based on how we've seen the Thunder match up against teams in the past, that's probably how they do it.
100%. Thunder weren't going to let Luke and Kyrie beat him.
Exactly.
But if Najee Marshall is going to be the guy to beat you, whatever, Najee.
All power to him.
We're going to get the ball to where we want it to be. And if that guy just plays out of his mind, that's fine. I think that's going to be the game plan against Milwaukee.
I know we've gone a little long. We need to move on. But I think the last thing we need to touch on, we've talked a lot about defense. We need to talk about the other side of the ball. And something Nick mentioned earlier, I think is spot on. You need somebody other than Shea to step up offensively. Usually that's J-Dub. You can usually expect about 20 points from him, but still only 8 of 20 from the floor, still can't get to the free throw line. Last night it was Lou Dort with 19 points, but the Thunder only had, 14 points off the bench. You need an Isaiah Joe to come in, or even a Kenrich Williams during the stretch he had in that first half, like we talked about last night. You need more offensive production outside of just Shea, because the Bucks have so many defenders that they're going to just be zeroing in on him and making other players beat him.
And I think the Dort example from Saturday night is Justin's Brook Lopez analogy. He can beat you. And I'm sure the Rockets probably said shut down Dub and Shea and let someone else beat you. And Lou did. Lou could have gone 1 of 9. And that game looks very different. He had big shots and big moments. I think that's kind of the
flip side.
The flip side of the coin there.
What do we think happens Tuesday night? Actually, don't.
I was going to say, are we doing predictions right now?
We're already at 41 minutes, so we're going to speed run the back half of this podcast. So done talking Bucks. We're moving on to some trivia.
Yes. Taylor, do you have a whiteboard yet?
Let me get my handy dandy Thunder notebook out.
Unbelievable.
One of these days.
I don't believe it.
Where is this whiteboard? Why don't you have one?
It's in my home.
Jacob's house.
Can you guys live very close to each other?
We just always forget.
Why don't you guys go get lunch this week on the Uncontested?
We do this a lot, and then
you're gonna reward him for not getting his whiteboard.
If it gets him the dang whiteboard, sometimes you got to give candy to a baby. You know,
I like my handy dandy notebook.
Give an iPad to the. That's fine.
All right. The homies over in the Discord from the Patreon have generously sent over some trivia questions. So thank you so much. Nick Jordan says we will get Taylor the whiteboard for Christmas.
There we go.
He was supposed to have
coal
it
for Christmas, buddy.
in mid-October. All right. You guys ready?
You're
So ready.
Trivia is brought to you by Prairie Artisan Ales. You can go to Prairie every Sunday at 4:30 and play trivia. Maybe over... Go for it.
Well done.
Crispy. Maybe over the holiday break, the Uncontested boys can go play some trivia. At
Ooh.
Prairie.
There you go.
We have to get the squad together. We're gonna get our asses kicked.
Taylor's like wood.
Nick, before we dive into some trivia, you want to tell the folks what you're drinking?
Yes,
Just crack open there.
the tiny S's is gone. So that's
big
recent
concern.
history.
That's what she said.
Now I have cracked open a blueberry boyfriend, which I'm studying the can and I'm not sure what's going on.
It's
but
a
there's
blueberry.
a giant blueberry sitting at a table. And then he's way bigger than everybody. He's like at a cafe.
Relatable.
I don't know. It's a sour ale with blueberries and lemon zest, and it's very delicious.
It's
There you go.
delightful. I'm a big fan of blueberry boyfriend.
It's very good.
Hard to say, easy to drink.
I love it. Go get some Prairie beers. Hey, we might be able to incentivize some folks to get some Prairie beers pretty soon.
Indeed.
Be on the lookout for that.
Not might, we are.
We are.
Taylor or Jacob likes to keep it so mysterious.
I know.
I know.
We will
He's
not
teasing
be
it.
helping out somebody under 21 to get Prairie beer. You got to get your cool uncle to do that.
Well, God.
Cool, uncle. That's definitely a Taylor job. Taylor's going to get DMs.
On the Prairie Ales dealer.
Oh my gosh.
The plug.
Taylor's
Plug.
the Prairie plug, the PP, if you will.
Pushing
All right.
P.
Trivia question number 1 comes from the homie Thunder Chick.
Let's go.
The Thunder are 9-1 in the last 10 games. Hey, that's pretty good. For those of you who struggle at math, that's a 90% win rate.
It's good. It's good.
Of those 10 games, how many have been decided by single digits? Last 10 games, how many have been decided by single digits? Would you like me to tell you the last 10 games?
Sure.
That
if
just
you're
gives
offering.
us a chance to overthink it, Jacob, but go ahead.
Okay. Rockets, Mavericks, Pelicans, Raptors, Jazz, Rockets. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lakers, Warriors, Kings, Trailblazers.
Was it single digits or single possession?
Digits.
Single digits.
The whole time you listed that list off, I was thinking, okay.
You want the list again, buddy?
Yes.
Portland, Sacramento, Golden State, Los Angeles Lakers, Houston, Utah, Toronto, New Orleans, and then the assholes, Dallas and Houston. How many of those games were decided by single digits?
All right.
Let's
revealing?
Let's see it.
That's my camera flips.
Taylor goes 3. Justin goes 2. Nick goes 3. I love the sticker on the whiteboard, Nick. Good touch.
That's a nice
Ooh,
touch.
Well done.
On brand.
That is nice.
Look at you. The answer is 3.
Yeah.
Banger.
Win in
Cha-ching.
Golden State by 4. Win in Los Angeles by 8. Loss to Houston by 3. Those 3 games happened in succession.
Los Angeles was not the one I was thinking, but I will take it.
That's I wasn't thinking that one either.
Okay, Smoot gave me a really long one that I haven't read yet, so we're just as the kids say, we're just raw dogging it. Here we go.
Oh God.
From the homie Smoot. Over this calendar week of basketball, Mavs game, Rockets game, the Thunder have a total of 35 stocks. Name the player or players that had the most stocks this week and the player or players that had the least stocks this week. Garbage time excluded. So who had the most stocks and who had the least stocks over these last 2?
Least, just like least?
Yes. Like these are Thunder players. These aren't also their opponents.
Got it.
So there's 35 stocks total. Who had the most?
This week?
Yeah, these past 2 games.
The last 2 games.
They had 35 total. Who had the most combined total and who had the least combined total? Spoiler alert, there are 2 that tied for least. I will take either answer. There is one who had most. Who are they?
And did players that didn't play count? I assume not.
Oh no, we're removing garbage time and guys who didn't play. Obviously, the who's the white kid?
Brandon Carlson
doesn't count.
He was the white kid.
Doesn't count.
Alex Caruso.
Oh, I'm torn on the most. This is tough.
Disrespect my goat.
I think most is easy.
Most is easy.
Smoot gave me the hard mode, but I'm not going hard mode, Smoot. Sorry, buddy. I also literally just read it.
All right. I have a guess. I don't feel good about it, but I have a guess.
We're going most stocks, least stocks. How many stocks did they have in stock?
Vintage.
How much
stock.
wood could a wood chuck?
Yo, dog, I heard you like stocks. All right, let's
Nick has some
reveal.
good stocks for the people.
Oh
Nick,
my
read us your
gosh.
answer.
I have most SGA, least Isaiah Joe.
Justin,
I also have most SGA and least Isaiah Joe.
Taylor.
I have most Shea and least AJ.
The answer with 10 stocks, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5.
Good
Shea
man.
Gilgeous-Alexander.
Hey-o.
Boom.
Man's been an
Least stock.
animal.
There was 2 people with the least stocks. That was 1. They had 1 total stock. Aaron Wiggins and AJ Mitchell.
Yeah. I'm so good at this.
Damn it.
This is easy.
I said the most was easy.
Okay, fine. That's fair.
Last one comes from Rob Baird, who is just like the trivia king. Maybe we need to hit up Rob to go play trivia.
I agree.
Yeah.
If Rob
That's
can
a
make this
great
many
idea.
trivia questions, he can probably answer the trivia questions.
Correct.
Rob is going easy mode for you guys because he thinks you're all stupid.
That's accurate.
Fair.
Who has
I
the most
appreciate
30-point scoring games this season? It's multiple choice. Most 30-point games this
Multiple
season.
choice.
Multiple choice. A, Anthony Davis. A for Anthony. I like it. B, Jason Tatum. There's no relation. B, Boston, Jason Tatum. Look at this. I'm on a roll. C, Giannis Antetokounmpo. C, there's a C in Greece, but it sounds like an S. D, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because he's a dog.
Ah, well done.
E, LaMelo Ball. He's the last in the alphabet because he sucks.
There's also an E in LaMelo.
Don't care. A, Anthony Davis. B, Jason Tatum. C, Giannis Antetokounmpo. D, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. E, LaMelo Ball. Who has the most 30-point games this season?
I'm just going. Yeah, I got it.
Justin's making a bad face right now.
I feel like I feel like he's trying to deceive me.
But he also said he's trying to make it easy.
I know.
Because we're dumb.
I'm overthinking it. I can feel it.
Write it down.
I'm writing it down.
That's taking charge. You go with your first instinct.
There's the teacher and Jacob. I like it.
Okay, fine.
All right, let's see it.
We all went, I went Shai. The other two went Giannis.
Oh my!
Here
Me
we
and
go.
Nick are on the same wavelength.
Nick,
tonight.
did you intentionally write Greek freak in like Greek style letters?
Yes.
I appreciate you so much.
It's like,
Just
no,
a
that's just how I
commitment to
write
the
my
bit.
letters.
Feels like
I also
something
appreciate
should
that
have done.
neither of you tried to spell Antetokounmpo.
I could do it, but I was
Prove it. Prove it.
You guys were waiting on me.
Write
I didn't
it.
want to keep
Write
it
it right
You
now.
want me to write it?
Write it. Write it.
You can get a bonus point.
I'm so nervous.
The answer was Giannis. He's got 16.
Dang
SGA
it.
has 13. Everyone else has 12. And now we wait to see how Justin spells Antetokounmpo. I will be.
What if he just
ready?
stood up his whiteboard and said, bitch?
A drawing of a middle finger. All right, you ready?
No.
There's too many
No.
Antetokounmpo.
Yes.
He did it.
Eat that, Nick.
No.
Yes. This is right. I told you I could do it.
Wait,
Just-
hold it up again?
Oh my gosh. This is correct.
Oh,
That is
okay. Okay, I see.
Unbelievable.
I see.
That is
I see.
impressive.
Thank you.
That is
Justin
impressive.
wins trivia.
I win the spelling bee.
Justin would go ham on the spelling bee. Let's take a break on the other side. Are we going to do some rounding association? So late. We'll figure it out on the other side. We'll be right back. And we are back. Are we doing around the association? You want to like fast mode it?
Perfect.
Speed run. Yeah, let's
Speed
do it.
run around the association. Taylor, we need the around the association soundbite.
Do you really want me to do it? We got
Yes.
in trouble last time.
Fast
People hate
mode.
it.
Fast mode. Go.
Dun, 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 dun.
Thank you.
That's just the NBA theme song.
I
But
know it's not the
you gotta do the ha 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 ha
I
ha.
don't even know where he's sitting at.
But
Let's
we
talk.
already.
Let's talk. Talk number one.
All right, Nick.
Not after a good start
Target
with the
number one.
speed
It's
run.
December 15th. It's the unofficial opening of NBA trade season. We've already seen a pretty significant trade go down with former friend Dennis Schroeder, who likes to fight people outside of bars, is now headed to the Golden State Warriors. That's an interesting pairing. It's going to be he and Steph starting in the backcourt. He can still be reaggregated into a new trade. We're not going to talk about that because this isn't a Golden State Warriors podcast. What I want to talk about is a draft. We are going to do a fast draft. You got like 10 seconds on the clock. We're going to draft the 5 teams. Let's do 4 teams because there's 4 people on the podcast.
perfect.
The 4 teams that need to and will make a trade, like a not like a small trade, not like trading a second round pick, like make a roster upgrade before the trade deadline in February. Nick, you get pick number 1. Can or needs to and will make a trade. Which team?
Is it the way you described it? It has to be an upgrade to the roster, or it just can be a.
That was
I guess it
literally
could be
my
a
follow-up.
downgrade too, but it has to be significant. It can't be they traded a guy I've never heard of for a top 55.
Brendan Carlson.
Hey, don't disrespect the white
I
man.
didn't.
Let's go with Atlanta.
You
Okay.
would.
I would.
Justin.
Miami Heat.
Taylor.
Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, come on. That's the easiest one on earth.
I know.
All right, I'll go
Should have
west.
taken them first.
I'll go west. Denver Nuggets.
Oh, I like that. Spicy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good luck making it work unless you want to get off MPJ. But
Unless
They
you
might
want to
need
what?
That's a wild phrase out of context.
Unless you want to what?
You do whatever you want to MPJ, Taylor.
get off MPJ's contract.
Oh boy.
All right, that was around the association. Thanks for listening. Last part of the show, we are going predictions. I have predictions updates, and I did go back and give Nick points. All right, Nick, you hear me?
And I'm still in last.
You are still in last.
Should mean something to me, man.
I'll stick to the spelling bee.
In last place, tied for last place, Nick and Justin, 12 points.
Good
In second to last place, Taylor with 21.
God. That's such a big jump.
No.
JD has 23. I have 24. Nick, for the record, on the week that we didn't have picks for you, I went in and gave you a free Moneyball win, a free regular win, and then one loss because that was the average of everybody for that week.
Wow.
Okay.
Nick and I both got hurt by picking the Thunder to lose against the Mavericks last week.
Yeah, because that was a triple Moneyball.
That hurt real bad. Whenever Jacob starts
Triple Moneyball?
starts making up the rules.
What?
I know.
We only had one game, so it was a triple Moneyball.
So you're telling me that was a 6-point swing for
Correct.
you?
You telling me a shrimp fried this rice? All right. We have 3 games on the schedule this week. One of them apparently doesn't count. But
it
you
counts
So
for
I'm sure
this.
Jacob will make it worth 12 points.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
But you do have to Moneyball one of
Quadruple
them.
Moneyball.
JD isn't here, so you have to recreate your own sounder for your Moneyball.
Oh boy.
Game number 1, Tuesday, in Hell on Earth, Las Vegas, Nevada, for the NBA Emirates Cup Championship and $500,000. The Thunder take on the Milwaukee
Bucks.
Thank you.
No.
I like how you know those little toys that you could get where like you squeezed them and the eyeballs popped out. That's what Taylor looks like whenever he says "buck."
Bobby Portis.
kind of like, yeah, I was gonna say like
Bobby
Celeste
Portis. Do it again, Taylor.
Bucks.
See it? You can't unsee it now.
Yes.
Taylor, what happens Tuesday in Las Vegas, Nevada? And the basketball game. We know the degeneracy that's happening in that city.
Yeah, Mark was what alluded to that.
Called
He's
it a
He's ready to
circus.
get out of there. Circus and something else. It was pretty hilarious.
He's not
He said
wrong.
he's not having a good time. Straight up.
Someone get that man some Taco Bell Cantina. Change his life.
That's
around.
right. Or shithole cantina. It's even better.
Paradise Cantina.
Can you imagine Mark being in the shithole game?
Sitting in the corner booth,
Oh,
breaking
man.
down film,
The funny thing is, I actually
eating a wet burrito.
It's a great
I
spot.
actually
Mark is ordering
It's
a burrito
really
right
good.
now saying, make it wet.
Oh my god!
So many inside jokes that even the Patreon people don't even know about.
All right, Taylor, what happens?
I think they're taking the L against the Bucks, unfortunately.
Are you moneyballing it?
No.
Justin, what
Wow.
happens?
Give me the dub. We're getting the cup.
Cup. You moneyballing it?
No.
Nick, what happens?
Thunder L. They'll be the better team, but I think we'll see a lot of minutes from guys that, or not even minutes from guys that normally wouldn't play, but you'll get more minutes from guys than they would normally get. I think it'll be an experience thing, and 30 minutes for AJ Mitchell was because it's a big stakes game and it's helpful for him.
Okay.
They're not throwing the game, to be clear,
Mm.
but I think you'll see a lot of minutes from guys that probably wouldn't have played that much in a regular game.
But in
Moneyballing it?
reality, it doesn't matter for anything, and Mark knows what he's doing. And
None of this
I
matters.
agree with
We'll
that.
all die eventually. Eat Arby's. Nick, are you moneyballing it?
No, I'm not moneyballing a game that didn't matter.
Game 2 of the week. The Thunder.
What about you?
Win.
No wonder he's first place. He just
Yeah,
jots it down after.
unbelievable.
No. I'm going win. Also,
Your
I did not
vision is-
input any of the predictions. God, I'm going to forget who it was in the Patreon again. He deserves a shout out. G Carl 34 does it all. He's the
Shout
goat.
out G.
I'm going win.
George Carl.
George Carl.
Cream cheese.
Uncontested patron, George Carl.
Dude, I would love that.
If any former coach to be a Patreon subscriber, it would be George Carl.
I think it'd be Stan Van Gundy.
Oh, dude, Stan's the goat.
SVG.
Build a wall.
What?
You don't remember when he yelled that?
No.
The defensive plan was build a damn wall.
What the hell?
Thursday, the Thunder go to the most magical place on earth. I bet this is a place that Mark Daignault loves. Orlando, Florida. Disney World. It's like Las Vegas, but for 8-year-olds. They'll play the Orlando Magic. Nick, what happens in that one?
I'm gonna go Moneyball win.
Ooh.
Oh, okay, what's your sounder?
No Paulo, no Franz, no problem.
You got to recreate a sounder from our show.
Oh, it's an existing
Unbelievable.
sounder?
Yeah.
Back on up the news sounder.
What? He put a sock in my mouth. Good for him.
There
That's
it is.
a good one. That's a good
It's a great one.
Justin, what happens Thursday in the House of the Mouse?
I am also going with a Moneyball win in Orlando. And my sounder is going to be... I don't have anything relevant, so we're going to go with cream cheese in the chat from George.
Great.
Wow.
Taylor, what are you going with?
I'm also going with the W, but I'm going to save my money ball.
I will say, as much as we joke about Mark in Orlando, Florida, he did spend a lot of time in Gainesville, and that's
true.
like an hour and a half away. So he probably has a lot of friends and family. He might actually love going to Orlando.
I bet he does.
As Jacob shits on the city.
I'm not shitting on the city. I love Orlando. That's where Harry Potter World is at.
Also true. There's
Harry
also
Potter
more to
World?
Orlando than theme parks.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Rock. They have NASA. They have alligators.
They have good beaches.
They've
They're
got
Not in
fairly
Orlando.
Close. They're
Yes,
close
they
to beaches.
do.
No.
Is there like a
Yes.
lake beach?
Orlando is landlocked.
No, but if you can drive to beach. I've stayed in Orlando and gone to beaches.
Yes,
Okay.
they're like an hour away.
That's like saying I
Not
love the
quite near
beaches in
beach.
Houston.
OKC has a great lake.
Why is Taylor laughing so hard?
So weird.
I'm going win as well in Orlando. No Moneyball though. A Sega Baba Friday night. They take the short plane
You love
ride.
saying that word so much.
Sega Baba is a good word.
It
I
is a
use it in
great
my
word.
regular vernacular.
I'm laughing at the chat.
At work, I'm just busting out Sega Babas. That also sounds wild out of context. Justin, what
Heyo.
happens in Miami on Friday night? In the basketball arena, not at the clubs.
I'm gonna. The comment that just got put on screen. George says, I once mailed a baby alligator to me ex-wife, and just the type of me instead of mine made me read it in like an Irish accent. I once mailed a baby alligator to me ex-wife. Good Lord.
Taylor literally turns the color red when he laughs. Like,
I get bright red. Oh man!
I'm going with a win in Miami. Oof.
Shout out those Gators.
Oh, that's such a sounder. It's gotta get ripped. It's gotta get ripped.
why are you talking like that?
Oh, because my stomach hurts too bad.
This is what he does when he gets it gets like this. After I said Luhan, Jacob started talking the high pitched voice. Oh my gosh!
All right,
Good stuff.
Taylor, what happens in Miami?
I'm taking a W and I'm going Moneyball.
What's your sounder?
I once smelled a baby alligator to me. That's my sounder.
Nick, what are you going with?
Dub.
I will also go with a win Moneyball in Miami. Lou Dort gonna have Tyler Hero basking in hell.
What's your sounder?
My sounder will be. I was told there would be no match.
Hey, that's a good one. I don't get it, but it's a good one.
No, I don't get it either. I just pulled something
Just
out
a
of
good
the hat.
reference.
It's good.
I think that's going to do it for us, guys.
Woo.
We can't top the
sweating.
gator to me ex-wife. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Uncontested. This is just a completely unhinged episode. They all are. If you enjoy those, you should join the Patreon.
Nick,
page.
that should have been your sounder.
That's a
Hey, give the people what they want.
I
Nick.
have one in my closet.
Nick, give us the sounder. Give us the sounder, Nick. Oh, he's actually got it. I'm gonna outro us while we get Nick. You should join the Patreon. Oh, it's
Oh yes. Why is it still in a box? Are you about to break the seal?
I think you said, "Why is it still in the box?"
Yeah,
Yes, I did
haven't
say
opened it.
that.
It's an ancient artifact that I bought one for Christmas because my family played it growing up. If you heard that pod, you heard that story. But
Hold on. I have to interrupt you. George just followed up.
Oh my god!
She dumped it in Claremore Lake. They wrote an article about it.
this is
The best
real?
part.
This
The
is
best
real?
part.
Wait,
The
what?
best part is there was a comment from Connor before that. George has been the topic of at least one Florida Man article.
Wait,
George
a
was a
9'6"
Florida man.
alligator was found in the lake? That's
Did
not
you
a
find
baby.
the article?
But that's pretty common down in Florida, right?
George, we need the article.
Claremore is not common.
Oh man.
Well, not our Claremore. I think he's talking about like a lake down in Florida.
No, I think it's
Oh.
our Claremore.
I don't know.
George, we need
He's from
clarification.
Tulsa.
No,
Oh my
Claremore
gosh.
Lake is in Oklahoma.
We got to get out of here. George, we will read the article verbatim on the next show. Scout's honor. You do 3 fingers for
What?
Scout's honor. I am reading the article, George.
That's
Send it to me.
amazing.
George, and the G is for goat.
He confirms it's in Oklahoma.
Yes,
What?
that's not far from Nick and I's old stomping grounds. Amazing.
That's an incredible story.
All
right, Nick,
it pops up first search.
Nick,
Claremore
we
Lake
need to twist
alligator.
it. Nick,
We needed to twist it,
Oh
and then we got to
my
get out of
gosh.
here.
The people want it, Nick.
Twist it.
Thank you.
I'm
the
trying to read this
Patreon.
article.
Check us out on social media. Hey, watch party Tuesday in the Discord. We're changing it up, folks. Tuesday night, 7:30. Come watch the Cup versus the Bucks.
This thing grew to 9'6". This thing was
what
living
she-
in the
that's
lake
what
for a
she
long
said.
time.
Thank you,
MPJ?
for
Gosh.
tuning in. Thunder up.